Every beautiful garment starts with a strong foundation. In our previous dart manipulation tutorials, we explored how to move through and even split that into star lines. Today we are taking it further by drafting the armhole, first the basic armhole princess seam, and then a contoured armhole princess seam with a sweetheart neckline, just like you're seeing here. Hi, Miriam Dedo is my name. Welcome to Those Fashions Academy TV, where we help you to give your creativity expression. It's your first time of being to this channel. Click on the subscription button right now so you don't miss out on every of our tutorials, and also explore our playlist over there. This technique is the backbone of so many structural designs, from elegant styles to Ashebi looks, and as we go along, I will also show you why understanding your bust radius is key to creating a perfect fit, distribution of underbust, tightening. Please get along with me. Right now on the table, I have my pattern paper, just my pattern paper, my pattern master, my pencil. I'm going to be starting by creating my starting line, and then I'll be drafting on fold. And first, we are drafting the basic armhole princess seam, which works beautifully for everyday dresses, jackets, or top. It flatters without being too dramatic. So right now, I'm gonna head to put my shoulder measurement, which is a shoulder measurement divided by 2. Just like we've been drafting on every other pattern drafting project here, which you can also explore in our playlist. Right now, let us put all our vertical lines, which is the bust line, the underbust line, the waistline, and then our folding allowance. So I have to adjust this very close so that you're going to be seeing it very well. I hope you're seeing this right. Great. So right now we are going to be putting all our vertical lines, just like seen over here. So for this measurement, my bust line here is 11 inches. On the bust is 14. Remember, from your bust line, you're on the bust 3 plus your bust line, and then 2 inches plus your underbust for your underbust to get your waistline. You can check out to do your standard basic measurements on this channel, so you can also explore this in case you are drafting for masses. So also you can also measure on the body. Now I'm putting the chest line, which is 1.5 inch or 2 inches, most times above the bust line. Chest line 1.5 or 2 inches above the bust line. Go ahead now and label your pattern, which is the chest line, the bust line, the underbust line, the waistline, and then the folding allowance line. So perfect, we have all our lines over here. So let's go ahead right now and drop our armhole line so that we can create our armhole curve. So in drafting, remember your shoulder is slanted by 1 inch. That is the standard for the front, and then for your back is just slanted by half an inch. Then we are going to be putting our neck circumference, which is 3 by 3 inches for this measurement. Your neckline, basic neckline is a round basic neckline is your bust circumference divided by 12. You can use that to get your basic round neckline. So for the basic armhole princess seam that we are working with here, we are going to be using the basic round neck, and then we move to the sweethearts for the order. So just keep enjoying. Grab your popcorn and enjoy yourself. So right now here I'm contouring the armhole, and then I went in on the mid armhole by just half an inch to contour my armhole. It's the same process we've been using for every of our pattern drafting tutorial on this channel, just like I mentioned. Now let us input our bust palm. What is a bust palm? It's also called a nipple to nipple distance. So that is your nipple to nipple distance on your body divided by 2. And that is what we rightly place there. So you measure from the center front, and then you measure your nipple to nipple distance, and then you draw a line from your line to your bust line. So right now let us put our dart legs. Dart leg, when you want to put your dart intake for your front bodice, again it is 1 inch for small measurements, medium is 1.5, and 2 inches for large. That is your basic measurement. That is your basic dart intake. So right now I'm also going to be putting my bust dart. So putting your bust dart, it is your front shoulder to your waist minus your back shoulder to your waist. So here it is just 1 inch. Front shoulder to waist is 16 inches, and the back shoulder to waist here is 15 inches. So minus from there gives me 8. So right now we're going to go ahead and put all our circumference measurements. That is your bust circumference divided 4, your waist circumference divide 4. So that is it. So when you measure, you return all your darts. So for every of your pattern drafting, you always return your darts. So my underbust circumference here and the waist circumference, it is the same measurement, which is divided by 4, and I have 8.5. So I will not forget to return all my darts. So put all your circumference and then return your darts. So I have to extend my lines because the measurement hits more. So after putting this, then we are going to go ahead now and then we just put 1 inch, which is for the seam allowance. So that's we are going to be adding everything we need on these measurements, and then we don't need to be putting them on our cloth again when we want to cut this on our cloth pieces. So you put all your measurements and then you also put your darts. Dart intake for small is 1 inch, medium 1.5, and for large it is 2 inches. Don't forget, so that means you just divide into 2 into the 2 dart legs on both sides. Okay, so now we have the darts, we have our half scale bodies up to we have the waist darts, and then we have the bust darts. So now we're just going to be joining this and we connect to the mid-armhole. But what happens there, we're not just going to be cutting directly like this. We have to close a dart and then move a dart to the other side. If you have not watched how to move a dart, by using the pivot method, how to split that, you can go right now to the playlist and start the foundation of this darts manipulation. Please don't miss it. Just ensure you don't skip any process. Let us quickly draft the back so that we're just going to be splitting this into 2 and then we cut. So for our back, we're also going to be creating our margin line. After creating our margin line, we also get our center back. So for your center back, remember a center back is not going to be unfold, it's going to be 2 pieces because we're going to be having the zipper allowance at the back. So right now, I'm marking a zipper allowance of 1.5 inch, which is okay for the zipper allowance for this project. But if you want more than 1.5, you can do 2 inches, but here is just 1.5. And it is okay for this, that is for the center back, and it is okay for the zipper allowance I'm putting here. Now for our back, we are only going to be needing our chest line and then our waistline. We don't have a bust at the back, right? Okay, creative minds. So I'm just going to be extending my waistline and then my chest line. So I'm also going to go ahead again and then I confirm again my bust palm. So before I do that, let me drop my shoulder as well. The back shoulder is to be dropped by ½ inch. So you drop your front shoulder by 1 inch and then you drop your back shoulder by ½ inch. Though some people say I drop half an inch for front at the back, some people say I don't drop at all at the back, I just drop at the front. But for this tutorial on this channel, on Those Fashions Academy TV, we drop our shoulder on the front by 1 inch and then we drop at the back by ½ inch. So right now we are going to be implementing and we will be putting our bust palm as well. So go ahead, always label your pattern. So the first step we are doing, which is the preparing the basic block. We begin with the basic bodice block, which is the half scale bodice, clearly marking all the bust points, waist darts, and side darts. These are the foundation darts that will transform into the princess seam. Just like you're seeing over there, we've done that of the front, and this is the back we're doing. Now for your back dart intake, it is just 1 inch. So that is what we've been using on this channel, and that is what we're using on Those Fashions Academy. It is just 1 inch for that intake on the back because you don't have more to contour on your back. It is just 1 inch for the back dart intake, so just half an inch on both sides of the dart leg. So right now, let us go ahead and put our armhole curve on our back. So just put your armhole curve. You are not just going inside to contour, just have now get the mid of your armhole, then you blend the curve in. Ensure you have a blend curve. Please don't go sharp on this. You see the way I'm using my pencil to blend this in to have a smooth curve. The smooth curve is very, 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 very important. It is a process you don't want to skip. So I just, after getting a smooth curve that I'm comfortable with, I just use my hand to outline this pattern out. Perfect. Hope you're having fun and you're really enjoying yourself. So right now, let us put our measurements, our side measurements, and always remember to return your dart. So whatever darts you take, put it back on your measurements. So that is what I'm doing here right now. So I'm returning back, I'm putting my side measurements and then also my side seam allowance. Perfect. So now that we have prepared the the block, which is the half scale block, and then we have put our dart, and then we have our style lines. So we're just going to go ahead right now and also contour the zipper allowance area. Remember, you don't want to budge on your zipper allowance for the center back, so you remember to always contour, which is taking half an inch, going inside by half an inch on the chest line. So on the chest line over there, you're just going to be blending the curve in upward, and then you also blend the curve downward. So just like you're taking that coffee away so that it sits well by the time you put it on your back. You get that? So I'm just going to also extend the line for the neckline. I'm just going to put in the basic brown neckline also here. You can go as far as putting a scoop neckline, or you go deeper for your neckline. It depends on what you want, but for the case of this tutorial, you can have any line you want on the back. Like for the Sweetheart, now you can say I want also a V neckline on the back, but here I just put the basic round neckline, which is just the depth of 1 inch and the wideness of 3 inches. Do you get that? So that is it. Transferring the dart to the armhole from the bust point, mark the mid armhole and connect a line. So that is what we're going to be doing next. Now that we have all this on our table, let us separate this piece. You should have this right now. If you have this right now, just applaud yourself. You are getting it right. So right now we're just going to separate the front, and then we separate from the back. So let's quickly work on this right now. So I'm just going to be going ahead, and then I cut out the back. So remove the part that is to be cut short off on the back. That is to avoid the zipper bulge. Also the neckline, then your armhole area. The back doesn't really have much drama. It doesn't have a bust, so it is straightforward. So now we're just going to go ahead and we bring out the side from the center. So you want to go ahead and label your pattern so that you're not going to be missing it up. Labeling, it's a very important aspect of your project. So right now, this is my side back, and I'm going to be cutting 2 pieces, right? If you want to work on the project, and then also my center back. And then we're also going to be cutting 2 pieces by the time we want to make use of this to cut our fabric. Perfect. Is this not looking amazing, guys? Then this is a size of 10 and 12, and I'm gonna write a label that this is armhole princess seam. Remember, this is the basic armhole princess seam, which is versatile, that you can use for everyday dresses, jackets, or tops. It flatters without being too dramatic. Now let's go to the front, which is the part that we have to really take our time. So I'm just going to be chopping off. I cut this on fold so that I'm going to be showing you the effect of the results. That is why I cut on fold. You don't have to cut 2 pieces. When you want to cut on your pattern, you cut 2 pieces. So because we are going to be transferring our dart from the bust, we are going to be putting it on the armhole. Extend that line just like the way it is extended over there. In that direction it goes. So don't chop your armhole first. So extend the line, then cut, slash through till you get to the bust point, which is the apex. Now go back to your side, go back to your bust dart. Perfect. Now you're going to be closing your bust dart and you open the mid armhole dart. Do you see that? See the magic? Not a magic, right? It's just being creative. So you mark the mid line and you connect the line, close the side bust dart and transfer that intake to the armhole. So our dart is now going to be transferred into the mid armhole. So this gives us a new dart location and set the stage for our princess seam. To keep the armhole smooth, we extend the dart legs back into the cuff and redraw a natural armhole line, just like you're seeing over there. So every dart intake you have to return the back. So now measure back the dart intake you took there, because it's going to shorten your armhole, so you don't want that. Measure it back. By the time you check the measurements, wow. So when you check, you now put it back on your armhole, which brings you into, look at it, I'm repeating again, measure, and then whatever you have there, put it back on the armhole, just like you're seeing over there. So after that, then you smoothen it, so you blend it in. So this is now your armhole. So this is like redrawing a natural armhole line. This way the dart intake is absorbed into the princess seam without distorting the armhole or sleeve fit. Perfect. So this is how it goes, and then you have this, you have it over there. Perfect. So you can see you have a new armhole, so you can go ahead and label your pattern that was old armhole and this is the new armhole. So when you're cutting, you don't get mixed up. So now we're just going to remove the dart leg. So remove the dart leg, and then you're also going to chop off. So also take note, notch that part of the bust. So because they have to kiss each other by the time you want to join your fabric. So you notch, because you're also going to be notching your fabric. So you're going to be cutting the side front of 2 pieces, and then your center front is cut on fold, right? So you're going to be cutting your center front on fold, just like you're seeing over here that I'm doing here. So this is a basic, I'm repeating again, it's a basic armhole princess seam that is you can use to design your tops and all that. We don't really do much contour there because it is a basic princess seam. Guys, we are going to be having a premium sewing class for this project, and if you'd like to join us, kindly let us know in the comment section or reach out to us at thosefashionsborn@gmail.com, and then we'll be reaching to you, and use every contact details on our bio to reach out. This is exactly what we have now with our basic armhole princess seam. You should have this on your table now. Is this not looking amazing? Amazing, right? So that is how we have it. So we have our basic armhole princess start. So now we are going to be moving next into the contoured armhole princess seam, which is the bustier. So we are going to be moving into that, and there we're going to be learning the concept of bust radius and contouring. Now we have this, you should know how to do this. Right now we've done that earlier on, just having our upscale bodies with all the darts we need, which is the waist dart and the bust dart. Then we're smoothing our line, we connect to the mid armhole just like we did earlier. So after doing that, so you're going to go ahead right now. So because we're going to be contouring, and I want to quickly show you what a bust radius is. So bust radius, it is a distance from your apex to your underbust line. So here is where bust radius comes in. This is the distance from your bust point down to the underbust line. We use this to measure we use this measure to contour. So at the underbust, so that is what bust radius. So if you don't have a compass, you can just use your tape measure, just like it signify there. Just going to measure it round like that. So just like a guide to guide you what bust radius. If you're going to be going into corsets, just going to be then more into. So you should know how to do this even on your bustier. Okay, know how to do your bust radius. So you're just going to be getting the distance from your apex, that is your bust line, to your underbust line. Now we now go ahead and label your pattern, label the side, and also label the front. So right now, after doing this, we want to do the underbust tightening. So underbust tightening have standard measurements that it is used, and check the comment section. I'm dropping all the measurements you can use, which vary for all the cup, because for cup sizes we have A to B cup, which is the smaller bust. We have B to C, the cup, which is the medium, D to DD, and all that. So you're going to be seeing that in the comment section. Check it now so that you can make use of it. But for this project, I am working with a bust of just the medium, and it is I'm going to now be contouring this. So it is fuller when you want to contour, do your underbust tightening. It is fuller on the center. You take more measurements on the dart leg that is around the center compared to the side. So around the center here, I took about 0.5, and on the side I took 0.25. So all the total tightening I'm using here is just 0.75. It's not even up to 1 inch. Okay, so and then I just connect down to the down part over there. I connect, then I blend it in. I smoothen the curve into the bust line, just like you're seeing over there. Can you see this? So I took about 0.5 on the center side of the bust, and then 0.25 on the side seam that leg, and then I blend it into my pattern with the way I've done that you just notice over here. So right now, just going to go ahead and take our measurements. Then you put in all your dart intake back. So notice that I'm returning all the dart intake. There is nothing like I'm not going to be placing it. So you know that this time around, my dart intake on my underbust is not different because I have tightened it. So you see that. So I'm repeating again. So look at what I have, then I also replace, and then I return this just like that. So the next thing we want to do now is to go ahead, and then we're just going to put all our side measurements just like that. So put your side measurements, and remember to also return your dart intake, and that is how it goes. So that is how you're just going to blend it in, and then we're also now going to extend back our line so that we can have we can also do the same thing we did earlier on by creating our new armhole, just like you're seeing there. As a designer, you need to know how to draft both the basic armhole princess seam and also the contoured one. Now let us put the Sweetheart neckline. So from your neckline break there, measure down 7 inches. So after measuring down 7 inches, now square it. So from the neckline break that you have earlier on your neckline and neckline, basic neckline, so just square it down like that. So after squaring it down like that, so you want to go ahead again, and then you measure 4.5 inches. So first measure 7 inches, then second measure for your first line, the second line measure 4.5 inch. So you have 2 lines. First 7 inch, I'm using my card to outline this so that you can see this very well. Then second measure 4.5 inch. So now we have this. So after having this, you want to blend it to give you your, so just use pencil. If you have any good curve, you can use. So I'm using my hand to see if I have a good curve. Then I also try having my good curve, and then I try this to also check if I have a good curve. So having doing this, you just notice whatever you have. So when you're comfortable with it, you can now go ahead to cut your Sweetheart neckline, and then you have your neckline over there just like it is done. So remember, so and then I also smoothing the curve. I'm going to be smoothing on the head, so I'm just going to be cutting it. For the on the bust tightening, some designers add more reduction on the center front dart leg, while others add more on the side dart leg, especially for fuller bust. Look at what I'm doing over there. I just smooth this in so that it will not just be too sharp. So you should also always take notes of details like this, not to go too sharp on any corner, because it also show effect in your design. Both methods are correct. When you're doing the underbust tightening, it just depends on the body you are fitting and the style you want. The key is that the total intake should always follow the bust radius and arc smoothly under the bust. Again, you're going to be seeing every measurement you need to do your dart intake on in the comment section. So right now, let us close our side busts, and then we also open the mid armhole. Now look at that. I notch where I slashed, where the armhole joined together before it slashed, so that I'm going to be returning the distance I have there, so I will not be short of fabric. So I have to return every dart intake you take, you always return back. Now this puts me into having new armhole. Always do this. When you take any dart on your body, return back the dart. So that is the techniques. We did this earlier, and we're doing it again. So I return back, and this brings me into having new armhole curve, so that won't be shortage any form whatsoever. And that is what it is rightly done over here, just like you're seeing there. So the next thing is to now cut this out so that we can separate this into the two finish that we have. All right. So finally, through your curves at the bust points, blend lines smoothly and add seam allowances. Label your pieces so sewing is easier later. So guys, this is how it is done. So remember to also notch the bust area so that it will kiss each other by the time you want to stitch them. So notch them. Notching here will also help you to notch on your fabric. And that is it, the Armhole Princess Seam Bustier with Sweetheart Neckline. In our next video, we will explore the Shoulder Princess Seam, another powerful style line that expands your design options. Remember, this is just the pattern drafting stage. The actual sewing and finishing techniques will be available in our premium sewing classes, where we go deeper into the ironing, the padding concepts, construction, and professional techniques. So if you love what you have learned today, don't forget to subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell, because the next episode will show you even more ways to transform your patterns into stunning designs. Up to next time, creative minds, keep creating, keep designing. We meet again in the next episode.